Open beta day one. I just wasn't paying attention when I clicked on because I was just trying to get out of the stream because I'd already been on longer when I did the first review of this, like I'm gonna do now. So I just missed the fact that there was a repair all because I didn't need anything repaired. But it's right there. It's just when we opened it up before, where I remember it being. We'll talk to someone so we can pull this up real quick. Okay, wrong way. I'm running around like a dumbass. So, um, repair all's right here. I was looking down here for it before because it was at the bottom in Diablo 3. That was on me. Repair all is right here. It's easy. If you don't have anything though, it's not going to light up. So you do have the repair all. I just overlooked it being foolish. Um, Melee seems to be very unforgivingly difficult to play because most of the mechanics seem to completely fuck you if you're playing Melee. Um, which, I mean, that's just the way it is, I guess. And as the game really, when the game's further along, that may not even be an issue. We are only in Act 1. We have to keep this in mind. We are in Act 1. We do not know if this is the final iteration of the game or if they've innovated upon the game since they blocked off the portion that they were going to release for beta, which is what we're in. The lag issues that we're seeing now, especially with the open beta, which are definitely stronger than they were during the early access beta, are, if anybody's complaining about that or that is what's deterring you from maybe wanting to play the game, that is expected when you're playing a beta. So don't let that deter you. I would recommend that if you have not pre-purchased the game or pre-ordered the game, that if you're worried about the lag, don't pre-order the game. Just wait, and when the game's live, watch myself or anybody else that streams and is playing the game and see how the lag is, because it's going to be real bad day one for sure, because everybody starts in the same fucking section. So when the game launches, lag's going to be bad. Real bad. That just by design. That's how it goes. That's how it goes in literally any game that's an MMO. It's going to be heavily populated in the starter area, and it's going to lag like a motherfucker. Expect that. Just expect it. It is what it is. Gyms being here, I don't think is so great. I think gyms should be here in your consumables. That's what I think. I think they should put the gyms right here, and that should be that. Or they should have a tab specifically for gyms. One or the other. I don't like that it takes up space here. The fact that it takes up space here sucks monster cock, because this is all the space you have to carry items and loot. So all of your gear goes here. All of your items go here. This sucks when your gyms are just going to take up fucking space. Why? That's not awesome. I don't think anybody's really going to be too thrilled about that, because you have such limited space and then it just takes it up. I think if they were to use like a weight system instead of this ancient ass system here for loot, where it's you have this many slots and there you go, I think a weighted system would probably be a little better, a little more innovative, but it's not bad. It just, food for thought. I think that would be better. If we could move with ASDW, once again, that would be some good innovation. Why are we using this fucking ancient relic of the past to click and move, as well as the same click button to fight? I don't know why there's so much pushback against innovation in this regard. It's stupid, and it shouldn't be a problem. We should be able to do that. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous that we are still dealing with the same bullshit. But once again, it is what it is. There's not really anything you can do about it. People are going to have it set up the way they have it set up. The people are just going to have it set up the way they have it set up. It is what it is at the end of the day. Just see, having a button I could click in here, right? Just give me a button to click in here so that I can make movement, ASDW, or mouse. Why Why is that a problem? Why can't I just have a button that I click like right in here somewhere, or in the gameplay tab? Give me one of these options: ASDW movement or mouse movement. Just let people choose. Or one of these here, drop down to choose. Like, either way, it would be a good choice. Why not? We have all these accessibility options, right? Screen reader, so you don't have to read. It will read for you. Like, it does text to speech, basically, is what that is. Why not? Why do we have all these accessibility options, but I can't use ASDW to run around the map screen instead? This relic of the past click to move thing it sucks. It's vastly inferior to anything you could possibly do with ASDW. It's just, ASDW is a superior way to move around on the screen. 100%. And I wish that was the case, is that we were able to use ASDW with some sort of an option. When you're looking at things on the map here, we'll find an example. So, it's just dungeons. So these dungeons, you only have to run them once on any character, and then you get this thing, right? So this aspect of the unsatiated that you get as a reward for your first completion, when you get that unlocked, it goes into your collection in here forever on all of your characters, making it really good alt-friendly content, because you're not having to deal with this all the time and fuck, I gotta go run this on my new class that I decided to play because I wanted to try out that one, or I didn't think that one was so fun, or this one's super overpowered so I want to try that out instead, kind of a thing. It makes creating new characters and playing alts much more accessible. It makes that much more fun. It's friendly to do, which is important. It's good to see. I'm glad that is how it is. That's good gameplay. When you see, like, I was going to try and find them, but I don't see any. But the like cellars and the ice caves, they all have the same layout, right? Like, I haven't seen any of them that are different. I haven't seen any of them that are innovated in a different way or in a better way. They are all the same. They all have the same layout. You go into the cellar, you go down the cellar to the right, you go up through the doorway, you kill the things, you get whatever loot they drop, and then you leave. And that's it. The caves are the same type of thing. You go to the right, you go down, I think it is, and then you kill the thing, and then you're done. Like, they're all the exact same layout. I'm happy that they're simple. Like, it's just a cellar. It shouldn't be complicated. But why are they all the exact same layout and completely they didn't put in any kind of innovation. They just like copy pasted it every time for those two things. The dungeons, if the dungeons are all going to require you to have like these objectives to complete to get to the boss, that is going to get repetitive and people are going to get very irritated with it. They're only going to want to run past the mobs, not have to fuck with it, and go through and fight the boss, because that's how people are used to playing Diablo. That is it. They aren't going to want to deal with these objectives. So it's something additive that's not necessarily all that great. Because if you get hit once when you're trying to channel the thing for the door to open the door, now you have to kill everything, right? It interrupts you. So you can't just go to the boss, kill the boss, which is what people are going to want to do. I did do the one dungeon today, which is the only dungeon that I've been in where the objectives was the completion instead of there being a boss. That is nice because it shows that there's variance within the dungeons, which is good. That's as close a look, aside from the world bosses, as we're going to get to seeing, and I haven't paid attention to when they're spawning. I really don't care to go do them, to be perfectly honest. It's a beta. If it wasn't the beta, I'd go try them out. But the world bosses and the dungeons are the closest thing we're going to get to what is in-game content like. We have no idea right now. but because this is supposed to be an MMO variant of an ARPG, that's going to be important. Just like for Diablo 3, I know people who did not find it very pleasant and fun to play Diablo 3 with the in-game content being now go play the story again, because that was the only content until they put in the Rift system. And then it was, okay, now I'm just going to run Greater Rifts forever. And after maybe 10 to 20 seconds into your Greater Rift, you knew exactly what the layout was and where you were going, because it's the same fucking things. They had a few different maps, and it would just randomly throw you into one of them. But after you spent like 30 hours playing Rifts, you knew all the Rifts. Like you were done. That was all the innovation that they had into it, and that was it. It was done. I think that the seasons, since this is a seasonal game, I think the seasons are going to be a huge deciding factor on whether or not the end game is fun. It's going to highly depend on what exactly you get from the end game, right? What is the end game? What do you get out of the end game? How's this operate? How's this actually play? It might sound really good on paper, and it might work out well with the way that they're testing it privately to make sure that the game works. But is that going to work out well with the way players are going to interact with things like the sorcerer being able to skip past terrain with the teleport, right? Is it going to operate well with the fact that you can mess with your screen ratios and you can drop totems and teleport on the sorcerer, for instance, 2 monitors over, basically? So you don't have to necessarily even be on the same screen. You can kill the boss off screen on a sorcerer. Like, these are things that are going to be exploited. Are they going to address that? Are they going to put in a distance limitation on how far you can teleport? Are they going to put in a distance limitation on how far your summoned hydras and things of this nature are going to be able to remain in effect with you not being near them? Or also just for you to drop them. Things like this you could put into place, right? You can make it so that you can't teleport over impassable terrain. But if they don't do that, then people are going to exploit that, and that will be the class everybody has to play. Also, with the in-game content, how is this going to look? We don't know. But are you going to be able to say, like, is it going to be designed where end-game dungeons are going to require you to have a group? Because right now I've soloed everything I've done, unless I'm just out in the world and there are people near me and we're working on an event together. But I haven't grouped up with anybody to go do dungeons. It hasn't been necessary. So you're limited to 4 people in a group. I do know that. I do know you're limited to 4. You can't expand it beyond that, which means there's not really a raid, right? So you're not setting up raid groups. Only 12 people can be involved in the world boss, which would mean 3 groups. But you can only set up groups of 4, right? So how's that going to work at endgame? Is that how you do the raids? Are the dungeons soloable, but you can do it with a friend, and you just get the increased loot drop rates, like increased loot percentages and stuff like you did in Diablo 3 because you're grouped up with somebody? Or and then like the quote unquote raid content is 4-player content? And are we going to have a situation where something like the sorcerer is able to cheese so many things that if you don't just have a group of sorcerers, then what the fuck are you doing? Which is going to funnel people to only playing sorcerers, and it won't be fun. Or is it going to be something that's designed in a way where you want a barbarian in there to maybe have like an unkillable build so that they're able to tank? Or a druid maybe with an unkillable build, because in this tree, for instance, you could have, say, what was it? You could do shred to regain your health. You could do maul to give yourself, was it? It's right here, right? To fortify your health, giving you more health. So this gives you more health. This heals you. This gives you a shield, and you could essentially build out something theoretically and within the druid that could also tank, right? So how are they going about designing the in-game content? That's going to be very important. What exactly is in the Paragon tree? Like, the skill tree is going to vary a lot on what do you have for gear. Your legendaries are going to impact all of these, right? So your legendaries will impact what you want here for your ideal build. But your Paragon is where you're really going to develop your character. And so we just don't know what that looks like because we're not getting to 50. We're getting 25. So we're getting through this whole skill tree. And that's about it. We get down here to the bottom of the skill tree, I believe, and that's it. Maybe it's here. It looks like it's here. We get down here maybe, and that's it. Doesn't matter. So there's just things that are in the air on it. And I do not expect this game to, at launch when it's live, to be something that's on par with PoE for people that love PoE and that are hardcore ARPG people. That's not going to be the case. But if they continue innovating on the game, taking player feedback, like what many creators have said, like many content creators, many streamers have said about the game, if they're listening to that and they take it into account and they kind of develop the game to work around some of these things and to develop in a way that's interactive with player feedback and things of that nature, then we can definitely see some situations where this would work out very well. And this game could, over time, become something that rivals PoE or surpasses PoE. But PoE was not fun when it launched, right? It became great over time through the innovations in the live service to the game over time. So if Blizzard will work on the live service of the game over time, develop and innovate over time with the game, I think they could do it. It has the potential. The artwork in this game, the detail in it, I don't know if you guys can see the detail as I run around a little bit with it zoomed in more, but because Twitch is limiting some of what you guys are able to see, but actually in the game, this looks incredible. Like the detail, the artwork, the way these reflections all move with the light as you're going by, with the fire as well as the moon above us, as well as the light from the waypoint and your portal. Like, it's interacting with so many things with just the little bit of water on the ground. That detail is amazing to have. The detail within, like, the dirt. Look, like here in the fire, on the logs, the snow, the mud, the tint arc, like the textures on the tint, on the characters, on your gear. Like, these things all look really good. I think a lot of this gear so far has looked pretty interesting and good. Like, there's going to be a lot of potential with what you can do to customize your character's appearance and the aesthetics of your characters. Like, so far, the game has a lot of promise, and I think that it can become excellent. Like I said, there's not really any reason to rush into it because it's not going to be at that level out of the gate. If you're a more casual player, then you're going to really enjoy this game out of the gate for sure. Because if you're a casual player, something like PoE is very overwhelming. There's so much going on. There's so many things that you can do for content that are all different types of gameplay and game styles. There's so many options within the way to build your character that you're damn sure looking up a guide. So there's just so much going on in PoE that it's overwhelming for a casual player. This build, the way they have it set up right now, this isn't going to be overwhelming. This is going to be something that you're able to get into and adapt to as it grows. The way that people who played PoE from the beginning were able to do, and it wasn't overwhelming for them because they grew with the game. The same thing will happen here, is my assumption. That's what it looks like will happen. The only other real thing I want to hit on again is the fact that if you pre-order, you've got access to we'll tell this person hi, why not? Or not, fuck it. Yeah, I don't have one here that says hello. Stupid. There you go. Oh, no, no, no. There it is. Why? Oh, okay, there it is. We can do it that way. I just never fucked with that. Now I can do hellos. Anyways, lesson learned. I didn't know that I had to customize that wheel out. I thought that it would just be there. That's on me. But, so as you saw there, there's a lot of ways you can interact with players just with emotes. You can type as well. Oh. Not like that. You can type down in here and talk to people in the local area. You can whisper them and all that type of thing that you normally can do in an MMO. You've got... oh, wait. Why am I in here? You've got clans, which is like guilds. This is an MMO aspect of gaming, right? So it's not like there's nothing going on in here that is multiplayer friendly, that's helping you interact with people. They've got all these things are set up. That's nice. If you do the pre-order of the deluxe or ultimate edition, you get access to the game 4 days early. Don't sweat it. I mean, really, all that is that's a FOMO. All they're doing is creating a fear of missing out because, oh no, everybody's playing the game and I have to wait 4 more days. Who gives a shit? It's 4 more days. It's not that big of a deal. To be quite honest, it's not that big of a deal. $70 is already a lot to pay for a game. $90 so that you have 4 more days of access and you have the battle pass. I mean, if you think the battle pass is going to be worth $20, then there you go. But at the same time, it's a fucking battle pass. It's going to change with every damn season. We know how this works. And is it going to be worth it? Is it going to give you power, or is it just going to be aesthetics? I would assume it's just going to be aesthetic stuff. Maybe there'll be elixirs and things of that nature. We'll have to find out because we don't have any clue what's in the battle pass. Really all you get out of the ultimate edition is a couple of like aesthetic appearance items. What you get, a mount, an aesthetic appearance item, and you get the first 10 or 20 levels of the battle pass for $30 more than what you paid just for the base game. So you get the battle pass, the aesthetic items, the mounts, and that you get from the deluxe stuff, as well as the ultimate stuff, and then you also get progress through that, the battle pass, which, like, and in all fairness, like, I did that, but I did that because there weren't other games I was interested in buying that I didn't already have paid for, and I budget a certain amount of money for games, and since I was like, well, there's not a game that I'm trying to buy this month, I guess I'll just spend $20 to upgrade Diablo to the deluxe. And then the next month I was like, I guess since once again, there's not really anything I'm interested in buying, I will upgrade Diablo for 10 more bucks. So there's really no reason to go through and do that unless you're in a similar situation before launch where you're like, I budget myself money to go have fun or for video games or going out and eating, and I don't want to go out and eat maybe, or there's not a movie I want to go see, whatever it is you budget money for you to enjoy and have fun with. You can just upgrade it. You don't have to, it's not like you're spending another $90. You can just upgrade for the difference. So that's how I ended up doing it. That's the reason that I have beyond the base of the game. But there's no reason for you to feel like it's necessary to do, to be quite honest. It's not like the things you're going to get are that fantastic or that wonderful. Don't allow the FOMO to force you into something that's literally just them trying to make more money on the exact same game. The exact same game. So, choice is yours. It is your money. Do with it as you please. But 4 days of early access isn't going to give somebody an advantage over you. You're going to reach the same end game. You're going to get to the same level cap. And you just might get there a little bit later than they do. If they know life the game especially, you may get there later than they do. It's not a big deal, be quite honest. So don't let that sway you into spending more money on a game that you don't need to. And there are other ways you can do it. And also, anybody who's trying to really get there as fast as possible, we're going to deal with the shitty lag of launch because it's how it goes. So those are my thoughts. Um, I'd say if you listen to Crypt, he's great to listen to. Is he is an ARPG guy, and Diablo was his jam. So he has a lot of insight into it, and he's across just ARPGs in general. He's got a lot more insight into it than I do, and I would recommend checking out his stuff as well if you want more insight into what his thoughts are for the game, because it's, like I said, it's not, I don't think it's going to be at its peak at launch. I think with the live services, as long as Blizzard takes care of the game through the live services, that we can expect to see this game become something great, but not to expect it to be great at launch. So that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat place, and we're gonna fucking get through this thing.